Hey guys, welcome to my final PowerPC challenge of 2025 video. Technically it is past the challenge. It is February 1st. It is 12:26 a.m. in my time zone and I just ran out of time. The kids were, keeping me in the moment and finally got them to sleep and here we are. So with this particular challenge, it was more of just a project, not so much a challenge. It is my dual 867 megahertz Power Mac G4 running Vanilla Leopard, 2 gigs of DDR memory. It's got a Radeon 9000 GPU. Aside from that, pretty basic machine. I've owned this for 3-4 years now and didn't really do much with it. It's always been kind of sitting around. So I decided to, spend some time and get it give it some love and get it, go through all my parts and bobs and bits and, and build it up and see what we can get together. So effectively, what I started with was I had an old MSATA from an old power book that had, eaten itself alive and incinerated itself. The MSATA was fine, and one of those 2.5 inch MSATA to PATA adapters. That MSATA corrupted, and so the first, it wouldn't boot. So I yanked it out, plugged it into my early Intel A1181, I think it is. I think it's an '08 white MacBook. Anyways, quick trip through disk utility, repaired the drive, and it booted up, stuck it back in, and booted up just fine. So one thing I did spend some money on, I think I spent 10 bucks on an Orico 128 gigabyte MSATA. So the first thing I did was actually clone the well, actually before this, I stepped back here. Before I did that, I did also pick up an Ultra Firewire 800 PCI card, so I could specifically plug in my 800 Firewire 800 external drive, and I cloned from the MSATA to the external drive, and then I swapped out the 60 gigabyte MSATA for the new 128 gigabyte MSATA and cloned back. Well, booted off at that point, booted off the FireWire 800 drive and cloned back to the 128 gigabyte MSATA. That completed, works great. In addition to that, I did also I put in a whatchamacallit, a Sonic Tango 2 2.0, which is USB 2 and some FireWire 400 ports. I did also include a Bluetooth dongle, Bluetooth 4 dongle, so the Mac has Bluetooth now if I need it. In addition to that, what else did we do with this bad boy? Um, I tried to build a fresh build of 10.4 on this thing, and I just could not get that to build to save my life. These goofy mirror drive doors. No big deal. I just yoinked the build off my G5 and dropped it on here, and everything is working hunky dory. Um, Aside from that, the only other things that I've been thinking about doing is, this is a lower spec mirror drive door, so I can't get the full speed of some of the higher powered dual CPUs. I probably could get one of the higher CPU daughter cards, dual CPU daughter cards. Probably would clock it down, if it ran, would clock it down to around 1 gigahertz. And that would be cool because I have my Quicksilver and it's 1 gigahertz too, and that would be a lot of fun just to have those two machines to compare and contrast the differences between DDR, PC133, the faster bus speed of the mirror drive door versus the Quicksilver and what have you. Anyhow, some quick things that I did do. I did run some whatchamacallits. There we go. Let's get that out of the way. Benchmarks. I did run Geekbench. I did also run Xbench. There we go. Okay, so the mirror drive door, 730, score of 730. When I looked over it, you know, the one thing that really surprised me was the low score on the RAM, I guess. I was expecting that to be a little higher. Oh, my word, it is late. Anyhow, yeah, you know, the memory just kind of was a stinker, and it really, you know, dropped down the the overall score. You can see here, you know, 373, 3 and 290. If you pivot over to Xbench, if you're familiar with Xbench, you know, again, a kind of a lower score. Not, you know, whatever, the Retro Max. One thing I was very happy with was when I ran just the solid state drive, 182.3. That's fantastic score for a solid state drive. Outpaced my, you know, that 64 gigabyte MSATA that I had in here earlier by like 30 points. So that was nice to see. Nice, generous upgrade there to the performance of the drive. Aside from that, oh, you want to see a whopper? Check out this speedometer benchmark. Whopping 2.68. Yeah, that is just crushing it. And you can see there at that time I had that 64 gigabyte MSATA. I did this before the transition, and I had it split down the middle, 30 gigs for the operating system and 30 gigs of storage. But yeah, that was interesting. Not much else to talk about in relation to this video. The other thing I did do was really figure out a way to stream desktops on this old Mac, and what I ended up leveraging for that was SnapX Pro. Recently, the makers, or one of the makers and running folks who ran Ambrosia software, did release a nifty tool that will generate keys for all of their software for free, for those of us folks who are using these old machines. It's called Decoder Ring, and it allows you to effectively, free of charge, run some of this old software at its full capacity. It's not neutered or anything, which is a fantastic gift to the retro computing community. Now, one caveat: Decoder Ring does not run on PowerPC. The only version of it that I found is x86. It runs on Intel Macs just fine. And again, back to that white MacBook. I used that to generate the code, install and generate the code as well, and then I just plugged it into the Snaps Pro X application. Now, in terms of snaps, if I recall, I am using, I think it's version 2.01 on OS X. There are earlier iterations that run on classic Mac OS. Again, this one I used explicitly for running on PowerPC OS X 10.5.8, and it's what I'm using right now. So without any additional blabbering on, I hope you guys had a great PowerPC challenge. I am happy to have this Power Mac G4 up and running. Yeah. Let's see here real quick. You can see there's the FireWire bus. Have up to 800 megabytes a second. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to say, is like this Mac is being goofy with the line in on the back. I don't know if it's dirty. It's not. It will register the signal, but it won't produce an audio signal. It's really interesting. So what I did leverage to get around that was I do have a PreSonus Firebox that I'm running via the FireWire 400 port on the back of the machine, and I have a trusty condenser mic via XLR into the front of that interface, and that's what's pulling this audio. So that's pretty neat. I'm really enjoying that actually, and that's something that I can easily swap out between all of these Power Macs that I have, as they all have at least FireWire 400. So that is a perfect solution for them, and I can run some monitors, some sound monitors through the PreSonus Firebox. Anyhow, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you so much. Bye.